Welcome to this week's version of Nickels and Dimes, our weekly video series. Well, I have been a financial advisor for well over 20 years, and I've seen a lot of mistakes people make in retirement. So today I'm going to share with you 5 specific mistakes I see people make in my experience over the years. So let's jump in and explore the 5 big mistakes in retirement. And here they are. Number 1, invest in risky investments to make up for time or a shortfall. Number 2, take withdrawals without considering taxes. The third one on this list is invest in an annuity, specifically the wrong kind. 4 is spending money to support adult children. And number 5 is not staying within a budget. So let's jump in and dive deeper into each one of these. So number 1, sometimes people fall behind on the retirement goals. In other words, they might have a goal to retire, for example, in 3 years or 5 years or at a certain age, and they realize they don't have enough saved in order to retire. So what they end up doing, I have found many of them, is they start investing in risky investments that's traditionally outside of their comfort zone, simply to, in their mind, try to make up for lost time and increase the capital that they have. And they explore investments, for example, like Bitcoin or even growth stocks. Now, I'm not saying not to invest in Bitcoin or growth stocks. Certainly, they could have a place in your portfolio. What I am saying is don't make the mistake, particularly if you're a little behind the 8 ball in terms of your retirement savings, do not make the mistake of allocating more than you would normally allocate in terms of these types of risky investments in your overall portfolio. We'll talk about a little bit of some of the rules in terms of what you can do there, because as Warren Buffett says, as you know, Warren Buffett is one of the most successful investors in history. He says, I have 2 rules. Never lose big, that's rule number 1, and rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1. So preservation of capital is going to be very important, and especially as you're in retirement. But again, successful investing is not just about making money, it is about preserving it and having a risk management strategy. Don't make the mistake, if you're behind the 8 ball in particular, of retirement planning, of investing in things that is not as ideal. What's the solution? You must understand your risk tolerance and timeline and put together a game plan in terms of your investment allocation in order to create a portfolio that is ideal for you. So what's the second mistake on this list? Is taking withdrawals without considering taxes. This is a big mistake. Sometimes people make decisions and don't think about how that distribution, meaning a withdrawal decision, might impact their retirement investing. As an example, we had a client recently who wanted to invest in a investment property, and they reached out to us and said, hey, I have a great opportunity to invest in an investment property, and I'd like to access a significant part of the portfolio. But the problem was that that person was thinking that it was ideal to take money out of their retirement accounts in order to invest in that property. And as you would suspect, if you know that any money you take out of a pre-tax retirement account, again, a traditional IRA, a 401k, a SEP IRA, or these types of pre-tax investments, any money you take out of these accounts are going to be 100% taxable dollar for dollar. So in other words, they're going to be 100% taxable at your ordinary income rate. So what we want to do is, when we're considering taking money out in retirement in terms of to supporting your lifestyle, or maybe you want to accomplish a goal, make sure you understand what the most tax efficient way in order to access the money is. So what's the solution? Again, you must understand the tax impact of what the distribution might be. What is the most efficient way to access the funds is a question that I would suggest is on your mind when you're considering taking a distribution. The third mistake I often see people make is investing in the wrong kind of annuity. Now, many of you, if you are in retirement, you probably get a seminar invitation to invest in a free gourmet dinner at a seminar at a local high-end restaurant. Now, I'm not saying don't attend the seminar. What I am saying is many times these free lunch or dinner seminars are often put together by financial people, financial salespeople that are really selling financial products, and many of them are annuities. if you want to invest in annuity, you have to make sure you're understanding how it's going to work for your financial economy, why it may or may not make sense for your portfolio. There are some annuities that are very good and make sense for a particular retiree, and in my opinion, many that frankly stink. So you want to make sure to review this. Why did you invest in this annuity contract if you have one initially? In fact, many times I see people investing in annuity contracts and will take them on as a client. And one of the questions I ask is, why did you invest in this annuity many years ago? And you know what? The scary part is a lot of times I get a I don't know answer. So what we want to make sure is we understand where an annuity, if you have one or if you're considering one, where it may fit in your portfolio, what the benefits and some of the limitations of the contract are. Because annuities oftentimes have fees, depending on what type it is, surrender charges. Some also have income guarantees. You want to make sure you understand and don't make the mistake of investing in an annuity for the wrong reasons. The fourth mistake I often see people make in retirement is spending money that's outside of their budget to support adult children. Now, when an adult child is conditioned to turn to their parents for financial help when money gets tight, the behavior is unlikely, in my opinion, to stop when the parents retire. Now, we see a lot of retirees doing this, and many times they can't really afford to do it, but the emotional connection, of course, we all love our children. The emotional connection, emotional support often overrides the logic. I know, look, you love them and they ask for your help, and how can you say no? So these are some of the things we think about as parents. So consider the long-term implications of those gifts. And I would also ask those people who are thinking about this, are you really helping them long-term? Because you're in many cases enabling, in my opinion, poor behavior. So an emotional decision today could potentially hurt the child long term. And one of the worst forms of support I could see is a loan. That's really not a loan. It's really going to end up being a gift, because odds favor your child is not going to pay you back. It's not a judgment. It's just a reality doing this for well over 20 years. What's the solution? Encourage financial independence and encourage your child, your adult child specifically, to do a better job with behavioral finance, meaning make better decisions financially. Number 5 on this list, and the mistake I see oftentimes retirees make, is they're not creating a budget. They don't stay within a budget. They have the you only live once. The YOLO mindset is oftentimes for the young. So don't let excitement trigger reckless spending when you're nearing or in retirement, especially if you don't necessarily have the income or investment capital. A common pitfall is overspending on luxury items or traveling early on in retirement without a carefully structured budget. It's essential to balance the desire to enjoy retirement with the need to ensure funds last throughout one's retirement years. Now, you might say, well, how on earth do I do that? There's really 2 steps to do it. Create a budget. So go through all of your expenses, understand what you're spending, maybe a little recklessly on, and pull back on certain areas. So stay within a budget and then create a financial timeline. And you could do that with software. You could hire an advisor. You could go through some financial calculators online to help do that. So not making these foolish mistakes. And let me recap them again to make sure we're all on the same page. Here are the 5 mistakes I often see. Again, been doing this for a long time. My goal today is to share with you some of the mistakes with the hope of, if you are making one or more of these mistakes, you course correct. Now, certainly, if you need some help to avoid mistakes, if you would like a second opinion, go on our website. If you would like a second opinion on your portfolio or financial situation, here's our website at nicholswealth.com. Click on the upper right-hand tab. It's request an appointment, fill out the information, and we will certainly do our best to help you avoid making common financial mistakes to set yourself up to win in retirement. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.